Once a month or so, we invite our resident Studio 4 culinary king, Garry Steele, to pay us a visit and whip up something delightful. This month, he has created a new website and some savory fare. It is my pleasure to welcome Chef Steele back to Studio 4 to cook and coo some more.
I'm a cook, I'm a king.
I know.
I'm a chef.
You are a chef, and Mr. Folks, who just left, who was a former corporate executive.
I would call him a chef.
He says he's embarrassed to call himself a chef.
But most chefs are.
Really?
Yeah, most people who have the ability to cook properly, understand food, and produce it in a way that can create endorphins within people are chefs. They're chefs.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a
so
chef.
I'm kind of a chef.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Whatever
You're
you
a great
say.
martini maker.
I'm a great martini
You're
maker.
an excellent martini maker.
Great olives in my martinis. And you put olives in muffins?
I put olives in muffins. Olives, this is the coolest story. I'm going to get started here. We are going to make muffins, so I'm going to do some kind of the boring bits first.
You're making them from scratch?
I'm making them from scratch.
Today?
Just flour, yes.
Really?
I'm going to
well, get cooking.
Bake them with the amazing technology of television.
Yes.
There's a company here called Golden Olive. And they're a small family company, and what they do, actually the mother and the daughter, Helen and Anastasia, wrote a book called From the Olive Grove. Oh. And they own a family olive grove in Greece.
Really?
And the trees,
are we invited?
Well, I am. I was.
Typical.
Yeah, I was. The grove has been in the family for 4 generations. The trees are in excess of 100 years old, but an olive tree will can grow for 500 years.
I know.
So it can grow
like
for a long, long time. Yeah, like us. Well, actually, like I tell you, Basil, the guy who owns this, in here, little salt, little pepper, flour, baking powder. That's it.
Okay, and I like your sifter.
Yes. Just
so
well, a great way to sift. Don't hit your sifter with metal. Oh, if you'd have done that in the kitchen, you'd have got punched right out. Use the palm of your hand and and tilt it to the side, and what that will do is it will create like a peak, and that will work for you. Now, if you don't have a sieve, put your flour in the bowl and whisk it. It does exactly the same thing.
Who knew?
Exactly the same thing.
Whisk the flour.
Yes.
See, my granny had one of those old sifters that...
Oh, the cup thing with the little thing on the bottom? Yeah,
yes,
I love them.
thought that was a sifter.
So to this, I'm going to add some Kalamata olives. Mm-hmm. In the book From the Olive Grove...
That's very Greek of you.
This is a whole Greek thing. The Kalamata olives, a little bit of basil, fresh basil has gone in there, salt and pepper, and to that I'm going to add some crumbled feta cheese.
Okay, is that goat feta?
This is goat feta, yes.
Ooh, it's so lovely.
So I went to meet these people.
Yes.
A week or so ago, Basil and Helen. And I had seen the book for a long time, and I went to meet them, and I met him. He is the quintessential Greek-looking man, petite man, amazing green eyes, like
petite
green.
Greek?
Well, you know, shorter, not.
You mean well-built?
Stocky, really.
Zorba.
Yeah, Zorba. Yeah, definitely Zorba. He goes to Greece every single November, and he handpicks the olives. He takes them to be pressed. He insists that they're pressed at a certain time of the day and insists that they're pressed within 24 hours of being picked.
Wow.
And the reason is because the antioxidant level in his oil is huge, and the his oil will go to a temperature of 410 degrees. For fresh oil, that's mammoth.
Really?
That is
you
really
mean without
mammoth.
changing? With
no UHT heat treatment, no, this oil has never been touched. It is purely and simply squeezed from the olive. It is the first squeeze, and it's bottled, and that's it.
At the right time, right place from the great trees.
Right time, and he insists
How organic and yum.
And gorgeous. He insists that it gets pressed in the morning because of the humidity and because of various things that are going on in the environment and the heat and everything.
So the art.
The art
of making olive
oil.
oil.
It's beautiful.
Well, I've been to an olive oil tasting in Italy, and I'm telling you, there's such a difference.
Yes.
There's very grassy olive oil.
Yes, this one is very grassy. If you smell this one, it has a real fresh, mowed lawn about it.
Yeah, very much so.
We're going to put...
I don't know if you should have said that about the fresh
No, it does,
lawn,
because I said to him...
Don't we love that smell?
Well, and it was funny because when I was at his table and I was tasting this, I said it's like fresh cut grass. And he laughed and he said, I love the way you use the words to explain what it is.
I know, but tasting notes, you know, I mean, they do it about wine, they call it.
Yeah, exactly. He noses it, he tastes it. Yeah.
Tastes like Band-Aids.
In here,
really,
no. In here, milk, 1 egg, and the oil. I love that there's no butter in this.
No butter.
I love that you don't have to beat any.
Oil.
Milk, egg, oil,
Feta.
and goes into the feta and the olive, basil, and flour mixture. And what we're going to do is we're just going to mix this around. Now, what we really want to do is we just want to make this wet. We don't
right, in your trendy Nigella Lawson dish.
In my
it
beautiful
is a Nigella
Lawson
dish,
now,
isn't it?
I just didn't add enough milk, so I'm just adding a little bit more. This is a
Do
Nigella
you not
Lawson.
measure anything, or?
I do, and in the alchemy of baking, and in the recipe in the website, I've just made these quite a lot, so I know now what I'm doing. But in the recipe, use the exact measurements. It'll help. I'll show you two.
Sure. And will they be on your new website?
Yes, go to my new website, steelthescene.ca. S-T-E-E-L, thescene.ca. It's it's a nifty little website.
And that's an old-fashioned muffin tin you have.
This is a really old one, my grandma's one. I tried to scrub it for the show, and I thought, no, you know what? No. Some of the old dirt is good food.
Probably.
Or it was good
well,
food.
it's seasoned, as they say.
What we're going to do is we're just, so all we're going to take is take the batter and put it about, now you'll see that it's a little bit fluffy. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing. We're going to fill the muffin tins with the batter, bake them at 425.
Oh, I love muffin
for
batter.
20 minutes.
I like it before it's cooked. My granny used to say I'd get worms, but it never happened.
Well, this is a really interesting thing because I developed this recipe out of a blueberry muffin recipe. I have never used olive oil in baking before. I've never used oil. I've always used butter.
Really?
So this was a big stretch for me.
For a Scottish guy.
For a Scottish boy.
That's probably proper.
You'll notice that there are two kinds of muffin here in the dish. I don't know if you see how this one's kind of more rugged and rough, and this one here is a little smoother and less fluid, more fluid. Less fluid gives you this bubbly kind of thing, and a little bit more fluid gives you a wetter batter and a more traditional like muffin. So it's your choice. I like the rougher one. I love
it's same batter, just
exactly the
more
same
liquid.
Batter, more or less liquid. But I wanted to show you that just.
So that's the muffin test. That's the Jeopardy question of the day.
The Jeopardy question of the day. Now we're going to serve this. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a recipe from the book. I'm going to use this stunning Eleni olive oil, about a quarter cup of this olive oil. If you buy this olive oil, you can get it delivered in these massive containers.
Do you get to keep the container?
You buy the container. It's a bit like if you do a water program. You buy the container and it gets refilled for you.
Oh, I see. So you can go back.
Yes, as many times as you want. It has a great little stopper. You own the container forever.
How fabulous. And how long does olive oil keep?
Well, this olive oil will keep for about 2 years, but at about 18 months, olive oil loses about 80% of its nutritional value. So you want to use it within a year.
Sure, and store it where?
On a shelf in a cool, dark place. Yeah.
Cool, dark place.
This is the golden olive, again, Helen and Basil's balsamic vinegar. They call everything after their kids. This is Eleni, Evangeline, and there's Anastasia is a soap. Look at this olive oil soap they make is Anastasia.
And they live here.
They live here. And the only place in the world you can get this olive oil is here in BC. You can't get it anywhere else.
But it's from Greece.
It's from Greece.
Yes.
Packaged in Greece, bottled in Greece, and brought here.
Yum.
So
are you making a salad? Now what are you doing?
I'm
salad
doing you
dressing?
a really cool Parmesan dip from the book. Salt, pepper, the Evangeline balsamic vinegar, the Eleni olive oil, a little salt, little pepper. We're going to throw in there a little bit of garlic. And we're going to add to that some beautiful Parmesan cheese.
Well, this would make a great breakfast if you had a little scrambled egg and a savory muffin and a sliced tomato.
Or even sausage, like we've talked about that before. I love sausage for breakfast. So Parmesan cheese in there. We're just going to mix that together.
Right.
And this makes a really...
Is that a Parmigiano Reggiano or just a Parmigiano?
I just got a regular Parmigiano. I didn't actually... look, I'll be really honest, somebody helped me and did the shop for me, so I didn't actually look at that. But any
now
of
the truth comes out.
Yeah, one of my minions shopped for me.
Fine. One of your people, now that you have a website.
When he hears that he's a minion, you've got to watch.
Exactly. It might be your partner, the minion?
No, we're not going to say.
No, okay.
Now, I had a little sniff. I'm going to add just a tiny little bit more of the balsamic vinegar in there. It's very powerful, so not too much. And this is an excellent dip. For bread, for the muffins, whatever. So
fabulous.
Here, let's make a little lunch.
Put the Parmigiana in it. That's so
I know,
fabulous.
it's very, very different, isn't it? So lunch, we'll take a muffin, break one open. They do this amazing tapenade. Again, these guys are amazing.
And that's Kalamata olives, right?
This is Kalamata. He actually grows these as well.
Okay, because you know there is a black olive oil.
Yes.
Made from black olives.
Made, yes. And
but these are from, this is from green olives.
Green olives. Okay. And actually, there is a point about that. The color of the oil actually does come from the olive and from the skin, the tannins in there. His, Basil's olive oil is a tiny, tiny little olive. So he gets very small yields. He may only get, you know, well, I don't know, 5 tons.
Well, and as you know, the Portuguese and the Greeks and the Italians all fight over who makes the best olive oil.
Okay, so Greece.
They don't fight.
Well, Greece is the home of olive oil. For about 2,500 BC, olive oil was first put into Greece. So traditional
good for your skin.
Really fabulous. I mean, well, seriously, you'll meet Helen and Basil one day, and I swear they're like 20-year-olds. It's
I think I met Helen in the store. I think I've seen her demo this.
She does a lot of demos with these, and she wrote this fabulous book. Now, so she did the blueberry muffin. I wanted to do this really savory, kind of different picnic Greek kind of muffin. To go along, take your Greek picnic muffin. I have a really cool event that's coming up in July.
Okay.
And July the 2nd, there's a Guinness Book of Records challenge going on at Wreck Beach.
Really?
The biggest the biggest skinny
no
dip
food?
But
just
take
Guinness?
my muffins. July the 2nd, 2 p.m., Wreck Beach.
Really?
1,000 people. If we get 1,000 people.
And you can wear clothes at Wreck Beach for people who don't like to go naked.
But we'll get $5,000 in donation from a private donator if we get 1,000 people. So
how fabulous.
Get your muffins and get down there.
Get your muffins, not your
buns,
muffin top.
Your little pink buns.
Bring your muffin top and your muffins.
Whatever, and your muffins. Yes.
How lovely. How nice to see you.
And
again,
you,
thank you.
Thank you for having me in.
This is lovely.
You're welcome.
It's lovely.